Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Engage and Glow. My name is Alicia and I just wanted to share our library book haul today because the librarian looked at me like I was crazy because I checked out over 90 books. That might be normal for a lot of other homeschool moms. I just feel like it's a lot more. We usually check out around 40-ish books, storybooks and phonics books for each kid. It doesn't, doesn't sound like it's going to get up to that many, but it does because my daughter has her own phonics books that she likes to read, and storybooks, chapter books, and then my son likes to have his own books, that like phonics books, storybooks. They like different things, so they both have like 20 each of just phonics and reading books that they read every day for their book logs. And then they also have story time books that I read to them at bedtime. But now that we're doing homeschool, like I want encyclopedia books for certain subjects, but I also want to have like storybooks for certain subjects so we can like read along and have some fun with it. Like, oh, we're going to have some books about Australia, the encyclopedia, like living books we can look at, but also have like a book about wombats so we can expand our knowledge on the animals we don't know that are new to us. So we have a lot of books, and it'll probably be a lot of books here on out, a lot more than normal, and we have an unlimited amount that we can check out at the library. But I did have 90 books I just picked up. We will use them, and I have like I think 30 more that I ordered just because last time I ordered books for our Antarctica unit and they didn't come in until after we were finished learning about Antarctica and we'd moved on to Australia, and then the books came in late. So I just wanted to order the books for our upcoming unit in advance so that I could have them here on time. And you can have books for 3 weeks and you can check them out twice, like renew them. I think you can get 2 renewals on some of the books. So you can have books for 3 weeks for your first time, and then you can renew them for another 3 weeks. So you can have some of these books for 6 weeks depending on like, oh, okay, well, we really need to spend a little bit more time before we move ahead onto the next subject, or let's say we're done, we just hand them back in 2 weeks. And it's nice. But also, if you do need certain encyclopedia books that our library doesn't have, then I have to order them online in advance so they can get here on time and I can have them when we start that unit at the beginning, not at the end of the unit. So yes, we just added a new shelf in here I'm excited about, and I wanted to show you our library book haul and show you why it's 90 books, and show you some of them, like a flip through maybe, and how we organize our books into our schoolroom, because 90 books, it sounds like a lot, but it really doesn't. It doesn't feel overwhelming to have to organize 90 books because we will use them and we kind of filter through them. Like if you do a book for SEL, in the morning we read a storybook together for SEL, and then we have a phonics book that we will do for our reading time. And then we have books that we will look at for our geography unit, and then we have books we will look at for our history unit. And then we also have books for our science unit. So, and we do them every day, so that's 5 books a day minimum. And that's not including the storybooks we read at night in bed, and that's not including if we read another book, like he reads to me another phonics book after school, like in the evening. So that's at least 5 to 7 books a day, every day. So we go through them. And even if like we're not reading the entire encyclopedia, I have fact sheets. So when we go through the encyclopedia, we'll have list 3 facts and then draw me 3 pictures of things that you learned. Fact sheets for each unit. So yes, that's our spill on library books. It is an amazing resource to have a library card, and I hope you guys invest in going to your local library. But this is how we organize our library books, and this is my little book haul video. Our book haul from our library. This is why I don't like buy books for every single unit we do. I use our library. They are an amazing resource. We get online, we can request books from other libraries. So if our library doesn't have it, we can go to other libraries and they'll be shipped to us. This is just a lot. It looks like a lot, but let me explain. Right here, we have our main 2 spine books that I found for ancient history. We're going to start with prehistory and then move into ancient history. And we have these books all for 3 weeks. So this is 3 weeks worth of history. So these are the 2 main spines that shows like your timeline and history that you can base your history units off of. And I wanted to start out with prehistory, so this is our history encyclopedia books, and then these are our history storybooks. So history storybooks, we have Larry Gets Lost in Prehistoric Times, dinosaur digging books. We can do a dinosaur dig activity that day, and then how big are dinosaurs, and then he loves the good dinosaurs, so we got a little, these are the storybooks. I think he'll enjoy these. Dinosaur dig, so it can go with the day that we're doing a little cute dinosaur digging activity. Why did they go extinct? I feel like that was a really important thing to know. Random Bill Nye, just because it was Bill Nye, I had to have it. Evolving Planet, the Children's Encyclopedia of Dinosaurs, First Encyclopedia of Dinosaurs, the Big Book of Dinosaurs. Like really just one of these I guess would have been fine. You never know what they look like just from the main cover, and you don't know what it's going to entail in it, so I always want to be prepared. But some of these look scary, and he might look at the book and be like, it's too scary, there's like blood and they're eating each other, so if it's like that, then he probably won't even want to look at it. Or it might be like this one, where it's like, it's nice, but this is a really thin book. It's just like really thin, doesn't have a whole lot. And of course, National Geographic Kids, you know, for all my geography units, I use Nat Geo Kids videos and our Nat Geo Kids book that we have that I own. And then I love DK, anything DK, you know, it's gonna be great. So yeah, we have our encyclopedia like books, and then we have our storybooks for history. And then this is for our next unit. We'll be covering the Stone Age. So we have cavemen and the Magic School Bus, the storybook about cavemen, and then another storybook about that time period, Cave Mix, comic books about cavemen, and then the first drawing storybook, and we have the Stone Age Boy. So this is just for each history unit. I try to have my main encyclopedia books, and then I have our storybooks. And so my storybooks I have, but my main encyclopedia books are still on order. They haven't arrived. But that's for our next unit. So we might spend 1 week or 2 weeks on this, and this is for week 3. And we have all these books for 3 weeks. So for history, this is suffice for the next 3 weeks. And then moving on, we have our plant study. We are doing this week in science. We picked out, because we started our plant journals last week, he and I decided to do our plant unit this week on Generation Genius, and we're learning about plants and parts of a plant. So from seed to plant, and the DK book about plants, he can like sketch these, look at them. It even has like a DVD that comes with it, Plant Secrets, and then the Tiny Seed. So all of these are just for our Generation Genius books. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 books. And we are going to be covering this for our whole week this week. So we can, even if we just read one a day, we'll still read look at almost all of these for our science unit this week. And then for SEL, Social Emotional Learning, I always get a stack of books. The one I really wanted isn't here yet. But these are all amazing. We get like manners, and Franklin tells a fib, and Franklin helps out. So we have Messy, Franklin, and then Hayden's like riding a bike, and he's all excited about his new bike he just got for his birthday. So we got a Franklin bike book, and the dark, being scared of the dark. And we also have like the messy room, chores, in the dark, loses a friend. So we will do a storybook every morning for our SEL. We'll just read it and talk about it, just talk about what we learned. And this is a story that I would read to him. But there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 14 storybooks, and we have these for 3 weeks. So even if we just read one book a day, we do school Tuesday through Friday. So that's 4, 8, 12. That's 12 books that we need for SEL, and that's like right around how many we need for the next 3 weeks for our SEL morning program. And then moving on, we are in geography, going over Australia and the Great Barrier Reef. So we have wildcats and Australia video, and like a little reef book, and then an I Can Read book about whales. And then I have a bunch on order that haven't came in yet. I wanted to focus on like he knows a bunch of the animals that live in Australia, kangaroo, koala. Most people know those ones. But there's some animals he doesn't know, like platypus and wombat and echidna, if I said that right. And so I got a storybook over each one for us to read a storybook, and we can do a little activity or a coloring page with it. And then how to draw ocean animals for the Great Barrier Reef, because this is all over. We're doing the 5 different biomes, so we can do these this week for the Great Barrier Reef. And this isn't even all of our books that are supposed to be coming in for the reef. Okay, I have these 2 that were in the wrong stack, and they are, like, I can read, like, phonics books, but they were about the reef also. So these are our books we will go over for the Great Barrier Reef this week for our geography program. And then every morning we will read a phonics book together during reading time. He will read me a phonics book, and then we will discuss. And so we'll get like a level 1 or 2 based on how many words it has, how many pages, something that we can fit in our reading time so we can talk about our story element worksheet with it. And then we also later in the day read another phonics book that evening. So my daughter reads a book every day after school, and of course she reads books in school. So he does the same thing. He'll read a book in the morning in school, and then he'll read a book in the evening after school. So we try to do 2 books a day. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25-ish. There's 25-ish books. And let's see, we read 2 books a day times 4 days a week. That's 8 times 3 weeks is 24, and there's 25 books here. So we probably will read every single one of these books in the stack over the next 3 weeks for phonics. And then this is just storybooks for bedtime. We have, it's Halloween, it's October. So we have the night before Halloween, and apples and pumpkins, and St. Louis Halloween, and Halloween cookbooks, like things we might do, and Halloween, homemade Halloween activities, and pirates on Halloween, trick or treat. And then, you know, the perfect pumpkin pie Halloween book. So we have, these are storybooks to read in the evening when we're going to bed. A magic treehouse book, so these are about dolphins that might go with our unit that we're doing for geography. And then dingoes at dinner time, so they might also go with our Australia geography unit. And then we ordered this, and it didn't come in until now, and it was for an Antarctica unit that we're done with, but, you know, either way, our Magic Treehouse books, they're like chapter books. So Magic Treehouse, he used to read and love them with his teacher at school before we pulled him out for homeschool, and he likes these just because he likes the format. And I've never read one, so I was excited to try one and see like if we'll just read one for the entire unit that we're doing Australia, and we'll just read a little bit every day, or however we're going to set that up. But we'll try them out. Anyway, so it looks like a lot of books. This looks like a lot of books from our library. They looked at me like I was crazy because I still have books on order that haven't came in yet for, you know, the rest of our encyclopedia books that go here. And for these are not even including the books for my daughter for her phonics reading time or story time. And I have also, like, this is our just 1 week of science for Generation Genius. This is just what we're covering this week, is about plants. So we might have more books next week for science that I needed to order. And then there's a couple more storybooks for the Stone Age and for dinosaurs for our history unit. So yeah, this would be our history unit for this week, history unit for next week or the following week, depending on how long we're on this unit. And then we have our main spines for history, like our timeline looking encyclopedia books. We have our Generation Genius Science unit. We have our Geography Australia unit. We have our morning book that we read every morning for SEL to learn about social emotional learning, character development, virtues. And we have our phonics book that he will read once, maybe twice a day. We'll do a little book report, a little about characters and story elements in the morning, and then we'll read a harder one in the evening that we can spend more time on. And then we have our storybooks for bedtime, the books I read them when I'm tucking them into bed at night. And then this one that just randomly came in a little late. But that is our book haul for this next couple of weeks. And I would advise you to get a library card for your local library. Most of them don't have a limit, or if they do, like our library before we moved, they had a limit of 50 books, or then they moved it to 75 books. This library has no limit. You are responsible for your books, and as long as you're responsible and you return them on time, you can continue checking out as many books as you need. So it's wonderful. But we don't have to get through every single one of these. Like, I feel like I really went overboard with the encyclopedia books for our history unit, but I didn't know what they look like on the inside until you get them. So this is our book haul. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys invest in a library card. Have a great day. As for how we store our books, this is our shelf of our books in the schoolroom. Well, we can put books here for whatever we're learning that week on display on this picture stand, and then the other books will be filed away into our work boxes and be ready for the next day. So like for SEL, we're going to be talking about fibbing and lying and what should Danny do choices. So we have those in our SEL bin. And for reading and phonics, we're learning about the Great Barrier Reef and geography this week. So we have a Nemo book for the Great Barrier Reef, a phonics book that he picked out, and so on and so forth. They'll all be filed away. Like for science, we have our from seeds to plants, and a plant encyclopedia we'll be looking at, because in science this week on Generation Genius we're doing parts of a plant. And in history, we can just have all of our books just put away into our bins to go along with the worksheets or handouts, whatever we're doing. So we have books literally all through the bins. We have books on display here. And then we also have this new addition that I just put down here. It's this shelf here. We have this miniature shelf I just put in here. I removed one of the posters that was here and put this shelf here. This is our library shelf. So all of our other library books we'll be using for the next couple of weeks will be on this shelf and easy to access. So I kind of like this map photo book on top, so we can maybe start printing out pictures from all the 50 states he's visited, and it can go along with as we learn the 50 states and have our travel pictures here for him to look at. But on the shelf wise, like this is our history encyclopedias, and then these are our history storybooks. And it's so funny because my daughter just wanted to read this one, is what she wanted me to read to her in bed last night. I do have a separate shelf with all of our storybooks for Halloween and fall, the storybooks and unicorn books that we've all picked out to read in bed. They're on a shelf upstairs by our command center, so they're easily accessible to the kids at nighttime. But we do have more storybooks here that she can also read any of these books anytime. But yes, this is history, so our unit for next week will be in the front here, and then we have some storybooks and then our encyclopedia books. And then on this shelf we have his SEL book stories, and then these are all his phonics books he can pick from each day to read. And then we have our geography books down here. So this week in geography, I want to focus on animals in Australia he doesn't know. Like, he knows koalas and kangaroos, but he doesn't know about platypuses. So I got this book. And then I also have some books at the library I have to pick up today to go along with it, because there's one book called Splatipus. So I thought that'd be really fun to read that and learn about platypuses that way. And there's just a few more geography books I'm missing that I've been waiting for. But yes, I like this new little shelf being put in our schoolroom just to have our library books close to where we need them, instead of having to go upstairs on the shelf upstairs. We have a library shelf, we've always had one upstairs, but now I have one in here close to where I need it. So have our new library shelf on this wall here, and have our library books assorted through the bins where we need them. And yeah, that's our library system. It just doesn't look like 90 books, but it sure is 90 books. They looked at me like I was crazy. So that is our book haul video. I hope it was interesting and you guys invest in a library card. Like this video, subscribe for more content, and see you guys soon. Bye.